Welcome back to Ferocious Education, this is Ed. Today we're going to be talking quickly about Genprex. This stock today almost hit at its highs 200%. And it's not going to be a cliche video where I'm going to tell you it's going to go to 300%, but we're going to a little bit dive into the news and try to break it apart, as well as see where it's most likely going on towards technical analysis to consider whether you should sell or perhaps extend your purchase. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So Genprex, this company here is really trying to attempt to put a dent into cancer and diabetes treatments. So about them, they say they are committed to developing life-changing gene therapies for patients with cancer and diabetes through unique, innovative science. We're dedicated in our efforts to helping patients with limited or no treatment options to have access to new and advanced therapies to more effectively treat diseases. So, taking a look into the latest news today, Genprex received a US FDA Fast Track designation for REQORSA or REQORSA immune gene therapy in combination with Keytruda for the treatment of non-small cell lung cancer. Now, one thing just to understand about cancer, of course, I'm pretty sure most likely you already know this, but cancer is not just one kind of disease. It's a combination of a lot of different diseases, and this one goes for non-small cell lung cancer. So it's a very specific type, nonetheless, very important. So it does talk about here about the Fast Track designation, FTDs, for the company's lead drug candidate in combination with Merck & Co.'s Keytruda in patients with histologically confirmed unresectable stage 3 or 4 non-small cell lung cancer. That's a little bit of a tongue twister there. Whose disease progressed after treatment with Keytruda in the first quarter of 2022. Genprex expected to initiate the clinical trial, which is an open-label, multi-cell or multi-center phase 1 to 2 clinical trial evaluating the drug in combination with Keytruda for this patient's population. The company previously received its first FTD for REQORSA in combination with AstraZeneca's PLC's Tagrisso in patients with histologically confirmed unresectable stage 3 and 4 NSCLC with EGFR mutations that progressed after treatments with Tagrisso. So hopefully they are or going to be pretty successful in this. I always wish the best for companies trying to tackle out for cancer's applications. But in terms of this kind of application, there has been some previous contenders also themselves as well, with the FTD with AstraZeneca one attempting to tackle at least one or more types of cancer diseases. And hopefully they really do. So they have two different things, the one with AstraZeneca's and one with Merck & Co. Keytruda, although the ones with Merck & Co. Keytruda is the one that pushed the price way higher. AstraZeneca's one, not as much at the current time. But just to keep a note, even though they had the AstraZeneca one before, the price point kind of stabilized and fell down, even though that was still kind of a big deal. But it seems that there might be a little bit of a pump and dump relating towards this one, or at least overhype for this one as well. So that is one news. The investor presentation here does kind of give you a little bit of an overview in terms of their cash. For instance, they have $42 million, which they see basically moving on all the way to around 2022. At least that was somewhere around in another paper. But some of the executive summary here: gene therapy platform, first systematic gene therapy used in cancer or for cancer in humans, large markets and unmet demand, combination trials with top selling cancer drugs, and 2 FDA Fast Track designation. We're talking about AstraZeneca and the Mark one. Demonstrated clinical achievements, initiated 1 lung cancer clinical trial, expected to initiate 2nd clinical trial in Q1 2022, and the world-class academic partners with expanding pipeline and a strong balance sheet. So right here you have the small cell lung cancer, and this one here is designated as well for the Fast Track designation, and it's going to move forward. And you also have other ones like diabetes, oncology, and various oncology targets. So right on here, you're able to see the combinations, including as well the one with or for AstraZeneca being the top one. Tagricio. Now, they don't have anything that might give you more in terms of information about the exact details of clinical trials, as they're not happening yet. And that will come in with time. Well, you can't get the results without having done them yet. Non-small cell lung cancers, there's a massive market for this one globally. And you're able to see some of the sales for just this AstraZeneca one is $4 billion. Keytruda is a lot bigger at $14 billion. So that on its own is around 3.5 times higher than Tagricio. Now, hopefully this does kind of go forward. It does explain to you a little bit about how everything of that works and a bit of the details in a little bit of a medical technical kind of way or method. But we're going to move on from this one and take a look at institutional buyers. From an institutional buyer perspective, we see a bunch of shares being added, others dispositioned. So it's kind of the balance of the mill, nothing really significant in either direction. We're going to move on towards technical analysis, but if you'd like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button, leave notifications on, as well drop the like button. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, there are a few key indicators that are going from bearish to bullish because of this massive stock jump. But I'm not going to kind of emphasize on this. I mean, yes, the willing percent R is shown to be highly overbought, showcasing that the volume is most likely going to twist to selling at some point. MACD gone towards positive and momentum did so as well. So that's anticipated. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow are all pointing upwards, especially with this massive push. The key thing that I do want to talk about is volume. The volume is one of the highest it's ever seen. It is the highest. You're looking at around 234 million in volume. You haven't even seen that with that massive jump we've seen in 2018. So this stock, will it maintain that same volume to continue on moving further upwards to continue push? The answer is most likely not. If anything, this one tells you with spikes of volumes, it does drop back. And the price point do follow the volumes as well. So if the volume drops, so will the price point because of interest and not really keeping on the thing up afloat. Now, in terms of Fibonacci retracements, we see some significant supports. 309, 199, and 22 cents. Resistances, 397, 486, 612, and 772. From a price line action perspective, we see a few supports and resistances we're interested in. The current support is at 349, below that 332, going down to 323, 294, down to 271, 265, it drops down to 239, a bit further to $2, then to 163, 145, and then finally 123. Below that, you're looking down to 105 and 60 cents, down to oblivion. Now, resistances. There are a few. So there's a tough one at 373, then $4, and then 444, going up to 516, going higher to 579, 641, and then 683, 708, and then 772. Now, comes to the question, what do you think is going to happen here? Well, if we've seen previous jumps, there is a bit of a possibility that this one would gap upwards with another good news. We've seen that. But eventually, it most likely would either go on a slow uptrend and then crash, but you get to see eventually they would run out of money quite fast and then raise offerings and then kind of go on a downtrend. But historically, you've seen multi-days green rather than just one day green. So far, this candle is green, and you get to see could be similar to what happened earlier up in February, but that was a bit of a different stock market. And then back in 22 December, where it jumped up with a massive candle and continued jumping, and then eventually dropped. So you might anticipate at least perhaps maybe a day more of green, but eventually in a couple of days or so, it's going to fall back, pull back a little, and then either go on a slow uptrend or just a downtrend. But these spikes are very often seen for the stock. So that's not really out of a question, but eventually you got to be very careful. If you bought around $1, at least take out your initial capital, play with the house's money. So if you put 1,000 and now it's 3,000, take 1,000 out, keep 2,000. You think it's going to go to 7? Amazing. You're getting more profit, but you secured your initial capital. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.